Hello everyone, today I am here with one of my favorite early strategic bombers. This journey leads us back to the First World War, the period when aviation was in its infancy and the technology was revolutionizing warfare. The aircraft that I'll be discussing today is the Handley Page Type O. This was the largest aircraft that had been built in the UK and one of the largest in the world. Just imagine yourself in the middle of the English countryside in the year 1916. It is a cold night, and you are gazing at the sky when a distant rumbling sound gradually increases in intensity. Suddenly, a huge figure is seen looming against the backdrop of the night, and the sheer size and the fact that it is there at all seems almost unbelievable. This was the Handley Page Type O, a plane that could carry over 2,000 pounds of bombs and fly deep into enemy territory. The Type O was one of the first aircraft to be designed for long-range bombing by Sir Frederick Handley Page. The need for the war accelerated the development of this weapon, since the British required a strong countermeasure to the German Zeppelin raids that were causing significant damage to their cities and industries. The Handley Page Type O was the answer, with a twin engine and a wingspan of over 100 feet, capable of reaching targets previously thought untouchable. In the early days of World War I, Captain Murray Suiter of the Royal Navy urgently needed a game-changing aircraft. Dubbed a bloody paralyzer, this aircraft was meant to deliver long-range bombing capabilities that could effectively target the German high seas fleet. Frederick Handley Page, known for his innovative aircraft designs, proposed a bold solution: the Handley Page Type O. Initially, there was debate over whether to develop a large seaplane or a land-based aircraft. Handley Page advocated for the latter, leading to the official specification issued in late 1914. This called for a biplane powered by two 150-horsepower Sunbeam engines, designed to fit into a compact hangar with folding wings. The aircraft was to carry a significant bomb load, feature armor for crew and engines, and offer a glazed cockpit for visibility, though defensive armament was initially minimal. Approval for the design came swiftly in early 1915, with modifications soon after to upgrade to more powerful 250-horsepower Rolls-Royce Eagle engines. The prototype faced initial challenges during testing, including issues with low speed and control, which were partly attributed to the design of its honeycomb radiators. These were later replaced with tube radiators to improve aerodynamic efficiency and performance. There are 4 prototypes of this aircraft in total, and the first prototype took flight on December 17, 1915, marking a milestone in aviation history. I have added a vague photo of it here. Despite a promising start, flight testing revealed significant instability at higher speeds, particularly concerning violent tail vibrations. This issue, identified as flutter, caused by aeroelastic coupling, posed a serious threat to the aircraft's structural integrity. Frederick Lanchester from the National Physics Laboratory played a crucial role in solving this problem. His analysis highlighted the resonance within the fuselage as a major contributing factor to the tail vibrations. By rigidly linking the elevators and adding additional bracing to the wings, Lanchester's recommendations ultimately mitigated the flutter, stabilizing subsequent prototypes. Over time, refinements were made based on operational feedback and evolving combat needs. The transition from an enclosed cockpit in early prototypes to an open cockpit configuration reflected practical considerations such as pilot visibility and structural durability. As defensive capabilities became more critical with the advent of fighter aircraft, provisions for armament were incorporated into later models. Technical challenges persisted throughout the Type O's development, requiring continuous innovation and adaptation. Structural weaknesses, particularly in the fuselage and tail sections, were addressed through reinforced designs and enhanced materials. The integration of more powerful Rolls-Royce Eagle engines in later prototypes not only increased performance, but also supported the aircraft's ability to carry heavier bomb loads over longer distances. The controls were excessively heavy initially, but even after this issue was addressed, severe oscillations persisted within the tail section. Consulting with Frederick Lanchester from the National Physics Lab shed light on the problem. Initially, it was thought that fuselage resonance was to blame, but further tests revealed a different culprit: aeroelastic coupling between the elevators and outer wings, known today as flutter. Lanchester's detailed observations provided the first well-documented case of this phenomenon. His recommendations, including reinforcing the elevators and adding more bracing to the wings, finally resolved the issue. The original prototype featured an enclosed cabin for the crew, but faced criticism from test pilots. They cited poor visibility and concerns over the canopy frame's strength during landing attempts. Consequently, the design shifted to an open cockpit, allowing 2 crew members to sit side by side. As the role of the aircraft evolved into a dedicated fighter, the nose was extended to accommodate a forward gunner station. Subsequent prototypes incorporated these modifications alongside enhancements such as defensive armament and more powerful versions of the Rolls-Royce Eagle engine. Transitioning to operational history, the aircraft's production expanded significantly due to its improving performance and urgent need. This was driven in part by the escalating Zeppelin raids along England's southern coast. The first production models, designated the Handley Page Type O, entered service with the Royal Naval Air Service by late 1916. Over 600 Type O's were eventually manufactured, predominantly as the Type O-100 or Type O-400 variants. The Type O-100's production was brief, comprising the initial prototypes and an additional 42 aircraft. When deployed with No. 7 Squadron of the Royal Naval Air Service's 5th Wing in Dunkirk, these planes represented the largest and most powerful British aircraft of their time. Their substantial 100-foot wingspan required wing-folding mechanisms to fit standard 75-foot hangars. Despite an advertised top speed of 85 miles per hour, operational models typically reached speeds closer to 75 or 80 miles per hour. Their endurance of approximately 8 hours and bomb capacity of 1,612 pounds of high explosives were particularly impressive achievements for the era. The Handley Page Type O contributed much to aviation during the First World War and the development of strategic bombing. The Type O-400 was powered by the Rolls-Royce Eagle Mark 7 engines and had an improved speed of just under 100 miles per hour and a strengthened fuselage to accommodate a 1,650-pound high-explosive bomb. Its design relocated fuel tanks from the engine nacelles to the fuselage for safety and operational efficiency. Defensive measures were also enhanced with 5 machine guns placed to protect the aircraft from any attack. Production increased significantly in 1918 with more than 400 Type O-400s being produced before the armistice in November. This increase in production allowed for widespread deployment across areas such as the North Sea, France, Belgium, Germany, and the Eastern Mediterranean. Originally designed for day attacks on German naval targets, the Type O was forced to switch to night operations because of losses to enemy fighters and flak. Among the Type O, one of them, the number 3127, was to be used as a trial aircraft for anti-submarine weapons, but was soon engaged in the Dardanelles operations. Flown by Lieutenant Ross Smith, this solitary aircraft embarked on a 2-month operation based on the island of Lemnos in Greece. From there, it carried out raids against Ottoman and German forces, aiding the Arab revolt spearheaded by T.E. Lawrence of Arabia. This particular Type O was able to accomplish many things during its operational years, such as bombing the German battlecruiser SMS Gerben and sinking the Ottoman torpedo boat Yadagari Millet. It also attacked key objectives like the Galata Air Base and attempted daring raids on Constantinople, although poor weather and mechanical troubles hindered it. The impact of the Handley Page Type O is complex and far-reaching. It not only introduced the idea of strategic bombing, demonstrating the capabilities of long-range aircraft in warfare, but also affected further development of bombers globally. Its strategic use during the First World War was a turning point in the history of aerial combat, emphasizing factors such as carrying capacity and time airborne. The knowledge gained from the Type O was applied to the subsequent designs of future bombers, such as the Handley Page 1500, and helped to improve the efficiency and tactical use of aviation technology in warfare. The Handley Page Type O was not done with its daring stunts after the Dardanelles campaign. It went on to terrorize Europe until the end of the First World War, with little resistance from Ottoman anti-aircraft defenses or reliable aircraft to counter it until a mechanical failure caused it to crash land in the Gulf of Zeros. However, in Europe, the Type O remained a workhorse of the skies, expanding its usage up to the end of the war. It was involved in the independent bombing force in the last 6 months of the war, and carried out many bombing sorties over northern France and southern Germany. From August, the Type O was fitted with the larger 1,650-pound bombs, which greatly improved its lethality. There is one memorable raid on Metz when a bomb fell on an ammunition depot, causing a powerful explosion that illuminated the night sky as if it were day. After the war, the Type O continued to be used in the military until 1922, although it was gradually phased out in favor of better models such as the Vickers Vimy starting from 1919. A few of the retired Type O airframes were converted for civilian use as passenger-carrying aircraft, and were known as the Type O7, Type O10, and Type O11. However, many others ended up on the scrap heap. Notably, a few of these were converted from civilian models and were used to transport diplomats and officials to the Treaty of Versailles. Later, they were used as VIP carriers, proving that they were not limited to use only during the war. As many as 12 aircraft were exported to China, where they were used as mail and passenger planes from May 1920. These aircraft probably constituted the last of their type in active service, some of which were still in use during the early part of the Chinese Civil War in 1927, while their counterparts in Britain had long been relegated to the aviation scrap heap. All right, wrapping up for today. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon. Being honest, to me, the Handley Page Type O, it's like when you order a gourmet burger and then complain about too much cheese. Handley Page wanted a nimble bomber, then said it's too big. Well, why order it then? Hope you enjoyed the insight. See you next time.